Next, let's see the school's reaction. The headmaster is shocked by the demand. This means the headmaster is surprised when the protagonist asks for a refund. He never expected a student to make such a demand. The demand seems unusual and absurd to him. He is confused about how to respond. His shock adds to the humor of the play. The audience laughs at his exaggerated reaction. Through this, the play shows the rigidity of school authorities. He consults his staff about handling the issue. This means the headmaster talks to his staff about the protagonist demand. He wants advice on how to respond properly. The staff is surprised by the unusual request too. They discuss possible solutions and reactions. Their conservation adds humor to the play. The audience enjoys seeing the headmaster confused with his staff. Through this, the play highlights the absurdity of strict school rules. Teachers feel insulted by the man's claim. This means the teachers are surprised by the protagonist demand. They feel that their teaching and efforts are being questioned. They are offended because they take pride in their work. Some teachers argue among themselves about how to respond. Their reaction adds humor to the play. The audience laughs at the exaggerated feelings of insult. Through this, the play highlights how seriously schools take their reputation. They agree to test him again before making a decision. This means the school decides not to immediately accept or reject his demand. They plan to test him again to check his knowledge. This shows that the school wants proof before taking action. The staff and teachers prepare for this request. The situation creates humor in the play. The audience enjoys seeing the protagonist tested in a funny way. Through this, the play continues to critique the education system. A special re-examination is arranged. The school organizes a special test for the protagonist. This re-examination is meant to check his knowledge again. The test is unusual and adds humor to the play. Teachers and staff prepare to conduct the re-exam. The protagonist faces the test confidently. The audience finds the situation both funny and interesting. Through the re-examination, the play continues to critique the education system. Next, let's see how the re-examination is set up. Teachers decide to ask him questions from different subjects. This means the teachers plan to question the protagonist on various subjects. This is to test his overall knowledge. The subjects include languages, mathematics, and general knowledge. The teachers want to see if he really learned anything at school. The questioning adds tension and humor to the play. The audience enjoys the protagonist's responses. Through this, the play continues to critique the education system. The condition is if he answers correctly, he loses. This means the teachers make a key rule for the protagonist. The role is unusual and unfair. They say if he answers a question correctly, he will lose the test. This creates a humorous and ironic situation. The audience laughs at the observed rule. It shows how rigid and illogical the school system can be. Through this, the play continues to satirical education humorously. If he answers wrongly, he proves he deserves a refund. This means the rule is tricky and creates a paradox. If he gives a wrong answer, it proves he did not learn properly. According to him, This failure shows the education system failed him. Therefore, he deserves a refund of his school fees. This adds irony and humor to the play. The audience finds the situation funny and thought provoking. Through this, the play cleverly critiques the education system. This setup turns education into a comedy. This means the unusual rules of the re-examination create a funny situation. Education is shown in a humorous way. The serious process of learning becomes entertaining. The protagonist response add to the comedy. The teacher's reactions also make the scene funny. The audience laughs while thinking about the education system. Through this, the play cleverly combines humor and social critique. The examination becomes a parody of the real system. This means the re-examination aggregates the flaws of the education system. It makes fun of strict rules and unfair practices. The test is not about real learning but about observed conditions. The protagonist is caught in a ridiculous situation. Teachers' reactions add to the satire. The audience laughs at the exaggerated scenario. Through this, the play cleverly criticizes the real education system. Next, let's see the subject tested. Questions are asked in mathematics, history, geography, and grammar. This means the teachers ask questions from different subjects to test the protagonist. The subjects include mathematics, history, geography, and grammar. Each subject tests a different skills or knowledge area. The questions are designed to be tricky and humorous. The protagonist struggles with some questions. The audience enjoys seeing him answers in funny ways. Through this, the play shows the absurdity of focusing only on academic knowledge. Each teacher tries to test his knowledge. This means every teacher asks questions to check what the protagonist knows. They cover different subjects and topics. Some questions are simple while others are tricky. Each teacher wants to challenge him in their own subject. The process creates tension and comedy at the same time. The protagonist's responses to different teachers are entertaining. Through this, the play highlights the absurdity of strict education rules. The man deliberately gives wrong answers. This means the protagonist intentionally answers questions incorrectly. He does this to prove that the education system failed him. His wrong answers are clever and humorous. This creates irony in the play. Teachers are confused and frustrated by his responses. The audience enjoys the humor in his deliberate mistakes. Through this, the play criticizes rote learning and rigid rules. His wrong answers actually sound more logical. This means even though the protagonist answers wrongly, his responses make sense. He cleverly shows the flaws in the education system. His logic highlights the difference between real knowledge and learning. Teachers are puzzled because his answers seem correct at first glance. The audience enjoys the irony and humor in this situation. This technique makes the play both funny and thought provoking. Through this, Karinthy cleverly criticizes the rigid educational system. The teachers, though irritated, must accept his failure. This means the teachers are annoyed by the protagonist behavior. Despite their irritation, they cannot ignore the situation. They realize that he has cleverly exposed flaws in the system. They must officially mark him as failing. Their frustration adds humor to the play. The audience enjoys seeing the teacher's mixed reactions. Through this, the play continues to satirical rigid school rules. Next, let's explore the humor and satire in the play. The play mocks the mechanical system of exams. This means The play makes fun of the rigid and mechanical way exams are conducted. It shows how students are judged mainly by marks. Creativity and practical knowledge be ignored. The protagonist answers exaggerate this flaw humorously. Teachers' reactions add to the more comedy. The audience laughs while realizing the criticism. The play shows that blindly following rules is funny and wrong. Knowledge is treated as memory, not understanding. This means in the play, education focuses only on memorizing facts. Understanding or thinking is ignored. Students are judged by how much they remember, not by what they are understand. This makes the education system mechanical and rigid. The protagonist highlights this flaw through his actions and answers. The audience laughs at the irony in the system. The play teaches that true knowledge is understanding, not just memorizing. The candidate cleverly manipulates the teachers. This means the protagonist uses his wit to confuse the teachers. He gives answers that seem logical but are actually wrong. This makes the teachers frustrated and puzzled. His clever tactics add humor to the play. He exposes the flaws of the education system indirectly. The audience enjoys his cleverness and the irony. The candidate smartly plays with the teachers to show the system's absurdity. His absurd answers highlight the flaws in education. This means the protagonist gives ridiculous or funny answers. These answers make the teachers confused. His answers show how the education system is flawed. Memorization is prioritized over understanding. The play uses humor to make this critique. The audience laughs while realizing the serious message. His funny answers cleverly exposes the problems in education system. The audience laughs at the contradictions. This means the audience notices the funny contradictions in the play. The rules of the re-examination are illogical. The protagonist answers create further contradictions. Teacher's reactions add to the humor. The audience enjoys both the comedy and the critique. The contradictions highlight the absurdity of the system. The audience laughs at the funny and illogical situations in the play.